Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for watching Hot Conflict. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about the book publishing industry and books in general. This last weekend I went to New York. As I was discussing relating to terrorism and the JFK incident, that I happened to be in New York last weekend. Yes, that's right. I was in New York. So, why was I in New York that weekend? Well, yes, I was there for the BEA, the Book Expo America. That's a book expo that takes place once a year for the book publishing, marketing, and publicity industry. All the authors and the publishing houses were there showing what books they were going to be promoting and selling. And they also had running lectures going on. The conference was at the Javits Convention Center in New York. And I went down there for the weekend. The conference was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The keynote speaker was the former chairman of the Federal Reserve Board, Alan Greenspan. He was the keynote speaker on Friday night. He was interviewed by MSNBC's Andrea Mitchell, who also is his wife. That was an interesting little tidbit there for those of you who don't know. Andrea Mitchell is married to Alan Greenspan. But the amazing thing was, I went to the lectures. The conference composed of a series of lectures going on that dealt with many different issues, from MySpace and social networking as forms of marketing to how the large publishing houses and big publishing houses produce books compared to independent and self-publishing mediums, how to use internet and technology to help brand and promote your book, as well as other interesting concepts. I attended one lecture specifically on the genre of Christian fiction and how Christian fiction has been created since the series Left Behind by Tim LaHaye. That book in and of itself has been able to cross borders and go from Christian books and Christian fiction that were once only available in Christian bookstores to now being available in wide circulation. And even if you go to major book distributors, Barnes & Nobles or Borders, you'll find that there's a section of Christian fiction in every bookstore. Do Muslims need to start penetrating different markets by creating Muslim fiction, Muslim writing, Muslim romance, Muslim action, Muslim thrillers and suspense, different kinds of fiction, along with nonfiction? I mean, initially I attended the Book Expo because I was planning and in the process of writing a nonfiction book about Muslims and Islamic issues and dealing with communication and, the issues related to how Muslims interact in the West and integration. But I started to see a lot of other connections. One other lecture that I attended was about manga and comic books and graphic novels and how that genre has blossomed out of Japan, agreed with various other artists, but they're making new content and changing the way the message is communicated. Now, I did what I could to stay in the lectures and get educated, because I told myself, once I go to the bazaar area and just start looking at the books, I'll probably never leave and go back to any of the lectures. So I stayed in the lectures for the first day and a half. After that, I wanted to go check out the bazaar. There was huge expo areas where books were sprawled out from side to side, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 booths and displays of various different genres, all the way from kids and youth titles to used books, but all the major publishing houses. Now here's the thing that shocked me. When you went up to the booth of the publishing house, no matter what it was, whether it was Bantam or Wiley or any of the major distributors, each one of them had a catalog of their current titles that they're releasing this year and titles that are soon to be released. Here's the amazing part. Every single distributor handed you copies of advanced books, free copies for you to look at and read and start to generate buzz about and to talk about. So imagine me. I love books. You can put me in a bookstore and I'll sit there for hours just perusing aisle to aisle, picking up different books, reading the backs, reading the covers, looking at everything. I love books. If you come to my house, you'll see books everywhere. As a matter of fact, right now, this very camera's standing on a stack of books to get the right angle, because there are books everywhere. Books for me are heavenly. Just the thought of getting information and knowledge and being able to look at what people think and ideas. And books are monumental to our society. Even as Muslims and members of communication, we have to realize that it's important to continue to read. As Muslims, we know the very first verse of the Quran, the very first word was Iqra, read. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord who created you. Go out, find information. So it was amazing. As each stall you went to, they had different books, from business to the economy to New Age to technology to romance, self-help, politics, all kinds of different areas. And each publisher would say, oh, what do you do? Well, my name is Salim Siddiqui. I had a badge saying hot conflict. And I said, well, I commentate on politics and do conflict resolution and counseling and consulting. And each one of the vendors would show you a book and say, here, take this book. It's about self-help or giving presentation. Oh, here, take this book. It's about counseling and conflict resolution in marital couples. Oh, here, take this book. It's about finding your true spiritual inner self. So what you were getting was the latest and greatest technology, or the latest and greatest thoughts that new authors had put together, and these are the books. Now in the publishing industry, with the big publishing houses, you have to understand that only certain books make the cut. Thousands and thousands of manuscripts and submittals and proposals go to the publishing houses every day, and then only out of those they pick certain ones, and out of each division or branch, and many large book publishing houses have many different divisions and branches. For example, they'll have a Christian fiction section, or they'll have self-help, then they'll have romance, and they'll have mystery, and they'll separate them into different houses, and they get thousands and thousands of manuscripts and book proposals. Of those, they choose a select few. Of those select few, they choose to promote only a handful that they think are the cream of the crop. Of those handful, they print advanced copies, not for resale, like proofs that are uncorrected. And those are what they hand to you for free. Amazing. And I started just grabbing books. How did I hold them? You won't believe this. At each booth, or almost all of them, they give you bags. Paper bags, plastic bags, even nice canvas material bags. And they put the books in the bags for you and give them to you. For 2 days, my shoulder, I was lugging, books. By the Saturday of the conference, I went back to my hotel room with tons of bags, grabbed a box, put them all in the box, and shipped it via the U.S. Post Office back home so I could get more books the next day. If you're in the marketing industry, if you're considering writing a book, if you're considering publicity or marketing, internet, online, promotion, self-help, fiction, writing, any form of communication, the BEA is the expo that happens every year for writers. This year it just happened. It's in New York. There are other regional expos going on throughout the year, but the major one just happened. If you're interested in promoting yourself or getting involved in any of the writing or publicity markets, you really do need to go to an expo like that and see how amazing it is just to see all the different kinds of people with various opinions and the latest books that they hand out to you. Amazing. To solve conflicts, you have to be able to look for places to create change. We need to see more Muslims involved at shows, being involved in what's going on. Some people think that the internet's changing everything, and it's true. The message is getting different, but nothing will ever replace books. Books are the foundation. Books are the source. I encourage everybody to read. Muslims, non-Muslims, seek out difference of opinion. The internet is there now, and there's so much more information. Read. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord who created you. Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for watching HotConflict.com.